Rebel Demi Productions. Hi, I'm Jeri Belardo. I'm 15, and when I was 12, I had a brain bleed.
I had just left school, and I was walking out to the school bus to go home when my sister Alyssa came running off the bus and told me something had happened to Jeri and that I needed to call Mom. So we got on the bus together, and I called my mom, and my mom told me Jeri had passed out and wasn't breathing.
Well, they took her to St. Mary's by ambulance at the Gulf Station in Newtown. However, they made a detour and was met by another ambulance, an advanced life support ambulance, because they were going to have to breathe for her. That's what they told me.
I was at recess with my friends, and we were playing Womp on the blacktop, which is, we just kind of like ran into each other and it would say Womp. That's kind of all there is to it. And I had this sudden intense pain at, I believe, the right side, the back right side of my neck, head, like a little above my neck. And I remember telling my friends that I felt like a tumor had burst. And so after like waiting it out a little, me and my friends took me to the nurse. And when I got there, I was like immediately put on a bed. And I just told the nurse I had like an intense headache, but I guess I like looked drained of energy or something, because she just laid me down immediately when I walked in. And a little bit after that, maybe a minute, my legs went numb and I couldn't feel them whatsoever. So I told the nurse that, and so she started to check my eyes like with a flashlight. And a little bit after that, I couldn't see out of my left eye. So she was calling 911 as my other eye completely was losing vision, and then I blacked out. And this all happened in like a span of like 10 minutes, not even.
That they determined it wasn't a brain bleed from a trauma, that she had some kind of a malformation of blood vessels in her brain, and they burst.
What happened to her was she had a special kind of blood clot in her head called an AVM, and essentially it's something that you're born with, and sometimes it bursts and sometimes it doesn't, and hers happened to burst.
Honestly, like at the time back then, I'm pretty sure like I was just so drained, like mentally and physically, that I mean, to me it was like any other day, except all I wanted to do was sleep and eat. Well, I not eat. I didn't really eat that much at all, but sleep and just like get through the pain, because I just had awful headaches at all times. Probably the worst headaches I've ever had for my life, definitely. And but I mean, I was more like, I wouldn't say I was scared, because like when something, I guess like you hear these stories and you think you'd be scared, but since it was happening to me, it was just sort of like, well, this is my life, so there's no reason to be scared of it.
It depends on the severity of the bleed and how quickly they get help, and the age that it happens at. We got relatively lucky with it that Jeri was still kind of young when it happened, even though that's rare, and so there wasn't too much damage with it. But with her location, you know, it could have been, her vision could have gotten really messed up, or some of her memory, or even some of her personality could have been affected from the bleed.
I woke up like a few times, like for like short gaps of time. The first time I was kind of like surprised, I guess, to kind of be alive. I didn't know what happened to me, but at the same time,
Other than watching and yearly MRIs, they want her to do what she would normally do as a teenager. And if she shows any signs of stroke-like symptoms, then we are to take her immediately back to the hospital. But other than that, they want her to live a normal life, be a normal kid, be a normal adult.
We didn't have another goalie at the time, so I was like, well, what are you guys gonna do? They pulled someone out. I mean, I didn't know how long I was gonna be out, I mean, I guess the whole time I thought that I'd be back by Cup season. I mean, it was February when the bleed happened, and Cup season is like April, May, June. So I thought I was gonna be like back by then. I didn't really know how I was gonna need brain surgery and all that stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I was definitely like scared, but worried about that. But I wanted to get back to playing as soon as possible. But I mean, like I said, I mean, since something bad happened to you and I was in that much pain, I wasn't thinking that much about soccer and getting back to that. Like I wanted to get back, but that was more later on, like when I reached the 2-month period or a month after when the pain started to ease. That's when I started to get concerned about soccer. But at the time of the bleed and a little bit in, I was definitely concerned about feeling better, having my headaches go away, eating normally, sleeping normally, just getting back into a normal basis more than worrying about my future in any sort of way.
I noticed she was a little timid at first in getting back out and doing things again. And, you know, her personality was still relatively the same, and she was still functioning just fine, and her memory was okay. And so other than maybe a slight scaredness to approaching life, she seemed fine to me.
I mean, it's very, very rare it could grow back. So, I mean, not really terrified. And brain surgery wasn't even that bad, so if it did grow back, I'm getting yearly MRIs, so we'll find out about it, and I'll just get rid of that little bugger. A year after my brain surgery, when I was getting one of my first annual MRI, it came to my family's attention that there's another IUPM in my neck. And we got more research done on that. And, I mean, it's in a very dangerous position, which, I mean, you'd think would scare me more, considering it's, like, in the brainstem, near my spine, and if it were to burst, I'd probably be dead or paralyzed. That, like, you'd think that'd scare you, but you can't, like, wake up every morning and, like, think of that. I wouldn't say it's a fear, more of just something I know that sits in the back of my mind that crosses my mind all the time. Like, I think every day in school, I usually think about if it would have burst, like what would happen in that teacher's class, how my friends would react, like who would cry and stuff. Like, I know that there's a chance that something could happen all over again, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a fear, more of just something like extra I know. It's hard to say I'm scared of it, because like I know it would be bad in the outcome, and God forbid I felt it burst again, another burst. Right away I'd probably be like, okay, well, tell my, like, whoever's near me, tell my family and friends I love them, whatever, God forbid what happens. But I mean, I get my yearly MRIs and I just hope that nothing happens.
Rebel Debbie Productions. Rebel Debbie Productions.
That wasn't serious.
Sorry, get it. Rebel Debbie Productions. Rebel Debbie Productions. Rebel Debbie Productions. Rebel Debbie Productions. Rebel Debbie Productions.